C'est l'histoire d'un homme qui tombe d'un immeuble de 50 étages. Le mec, au fur et à mesure de sa chute, il se répète sans cesse pour se rassurer. Jusqu'ici, tout va bien. Jusqu'ici, tout va bien. Jusqu'ici, tout va bien. Mais l'important, c'est pas la chute. C'est l'atterrissage.
The city, according to Robert Park, is man's most successful attempt to remake the world he lives in more after his heart's desire. But if the city is the world which man created, it is the world in which he is henceforth condemned to live. Haine is the story of three men, Vince, Hubert, and Saïd, living in a Parisian banlieue, an estate on the periphery of Paris. Two scenes encapsulate the characters' path to discover their implicit relationship to the city as they journey away from the banlieue, a place synonymous with police control and surveillance. The two scenes take place on rooftops, initially above the estate in the afternoon, then later above Paris at night.
C'est toi le skin.
Regarde.
From rooftops, we may analyze whether or not the three men from the estate have, by David Harvey's definition, the right to the city, meaning the right to change ourselves by changing the city.
Vas-y, fais pas l'enculé, fais-moi crédit. Oh,
Vas-y, ta sœur, je vais lui faire crédit aussi à ta sœur.
mais comment tu parles de ma sœur, toi?
Arrête de te prendre au sérieux,
Mais
pauvre
comment-
petit rebeu en carton.
The rooftop boundaries obstruct the viewer from seeing the streets, with only the tops of other buildings and hills in the visible distance. The setting is one of the most convincing social spaces in the estate. Fold-out chairs, old couches, and a makeshift barbecue momentarily convince the audience that the three main characters have a place to feel comfortable amongst their peers.
Mais moi non plus, ça va niquer sa mère. Déjà, je leur fais du placard.
Qu'est-ce que tu vas faire du placard? Qu'est-ce que tu vas faire du placard, toi?
While the camera pans around the roof, a helicopter noise is heard nearby. This inclusion foreshadows the upcoming police presence, indicating ongoing surveillance. Through sound, it also connects viewers to the most fantastical scene in the film, shot from above the banlieue. Filmed using a remote-operated helicopter above the estate, a dreamlike banlieue is represented, akin to music video footage. The shot demonstrates dramatic depth between the apartments and the pavement where the boys so often frequent. While this shot looks down at the space, the courtyard is also depicted from the ground upwards earlier in the film to demonstrate the panopticon-like effect of the neighbor's vantage point over the main characters. As evening approaches, timestamps across the screen indicate a timely descent towards a detrimental conclusion. As the characters journey to Paris, the boundaries of the banlieue are not revealed, leaving their home in an ambiguously distant place. Within this narrative, no physical boundary exists between the estates and Paris, only the passage of time.
Si Dieu il te fait chier, c'est lui qui fait pousser le caca.
While in the daytime scenes, director Matthew Kasovitz uses a wide-angle lens with a deep depth of field. Here, there is a shallow depth of field, focusing on less details at once in each shot. Thanks to the choice of lens, but also the time of day, the landscape of Paris at night is illegible and distant from the men in the foreground.
Vince, tu la connais l'histoire du cam qui tombe d'un building de 50 étages? Et à chaque étage, pour se rassurer, le cam il se répète: jusqu'ici tout va bien, jusqu'ici tout va bien, jusqu'ici tout va bien. Tu vois, c'est comme nous à la Tessie. Jusqu'ici tout va bien, mais ce qui compte c'est pas la chute, c'est l'atterrissage.
Putain, je me sens comme une petite fourmi perdue dans l'univers intergalactique.
Regardez les gars, je vais éteindre.
Saïd's attempt to turn off the tower is a reference to a French film, Au Monde Sans Pitié. With the snap of his fingers, the protagonist is able to turn the lights off to the delight of his companion. Le Haine's main characters are rarely seen having a civil or romantic conversation with a female character. Throughout their consistent displays of male bravado, they are incapable of female connection. By this account, the rooftop at night becomes symbolic of not only their isolation in relation to the city, but to other people. It is not until Vince, Said, and Hubert are framed by the lights of the Parisian nightfall that they acknowledge how inconsequential they are in intergalactic space, here or in the banlieue. Away from their home, the boys are not free from the control of the police. Violence follows them. As the men exit, the Eiffel Tower does turn off, but they cannot see. The men do not see a shifting city, and naturally do not see themselves as a shifting force.